begin, the first thing you do, you make sure you put your seatbelt on. First thing you do. Alright? After that, you do the safe start. You gotta check to make sure the parking brake is on. You gotta check to make sure the bus is neutral. So parking brake is on, bus is in neutral.
Okay.
Alright? Then you turn the key one click to the right. You have no ABS light. You have no check engine light. You have no warning lights on. Alright?
Okay.
Then you say no broken or missing needles. And you also tell the inspector your gauges are clear and working. Then you want to start the engine. You want to bring it up to about 15 RPM. Air pressure gauge is coming up. You hear that?
Yes.
Inspector, my air governor is working.
Okay.
That means I'm at my maximum air pressure of 120 to 125 psi.
Okay.
Then you turn off the engine. All right. Now you're going to start the brake test. So the first thing you do is put the key in electrical. One click to the right. Then you got to hold the brake and release your parking brake. You're going to tell the inspector where the needle landed at. I landed at about 120 psi. My first brake test is called testing for air leaks. I'm going to hold the brakes for 1 minute, right?
Yes.
I cannot lose more than 3 psi in 1 minute. Remember, I started at 120, so you count to 60 in your head. 60 seconds is a minute. Okay, it's a minute. I check my needles. Inspector, I have no air leaks. I did not lose more than 3 psi in 1 minute. All right?
Okay.
From the 120. All right, now I'm going to do my low air pressure warning signal test. My low air pressure warning signal should come on at around 60 psi. I should get a buzzer and a light, right?
Yeah.
60. This bus does not have a wigwag.
All right.
All right, so I'm going to pump down to 60. Right there. Inspector, my low air pressure warning signal's working. I got a light and a buzzer at around 60 psi. All right? Low air pressure warning signal working. Then I got my next test, which is my spring brake test. My spring brake should work between 45 and 20 psi. All right? So you're going to pump the brakes until the parking brake pops up. Remember, 45 to 20 psi. Spring brake test. Inspector, my spring brakes are working. Then you take your foot off the brake. Now you start up the engine to build up the air pressure. While the air pressure is building up, you do your in-cab inspection. My seat belt, it moves freely, latches securely, and unlatches smoothly. All right? Moves freely, latches securely, unlatches smoothly. Seat belt is not torn, cut, or frayed. Seat belt is mounted to the end cab of the bus. My seat is mounted to the frame. The frame is bolted to the floor. No missing bolts. All right? My floor is clear. No obstructions. My pedals are not sticking. And I got proper rubber on the pedals. The rubber's not worn or missing. And I don't see the metal plate under the rubber, right? If this is worn down so much, you see the metal is no good.
Okay.
Right? So don't forget the rubber's not worn or missing. And I don't see the rubber, the metal plate beneath the rubber. Steering wheel. I have no more than 10 degrees of play on a 20-inch steering wheel. Horn working. Left indicator working. Right indicator working. Hazard light indicator working. High beam indicator. You gotta cut on the headlight switch. You gotta pull this back so you can get the blue light. See that?
Yes.
High beam indicator working. And also you're gonna tell the inspector, when I cut on the headlights, all of my gauges light up.
All right.
Right? The headlight switch is on, your gauges light up. Then you cut this back off. All right, I'm gonna check my wipers and my washers. My left and right windshield wipers are working. They're making contact with the windshield. The wiper arms are not bent, broken, or damaged. And the rubber blade is not missing, torn, cut, or frayed. Now I'm gonna check the wash right here. He pushes in. My washer is working. All right. Then I'm gonna tell you about my windshield. My windshield is clean, no cracks, no illegal stickers, properly mounted, properly sealed. Then I'm gonna check my mirrors out there. Those are my cross view mirrors. The cross view mirrors should be set so you can see 15 feet in front of the bus. Okay? Small children and short adults that are under the hood level are supposed to be able to see them in the mirrors. Alright? And of course your mirrors are clean, no cracks, no illegal stickers. Mirrors are mounted to the brackets. Brackets are mounted to the hood of the bus. Now I'm going to go to my side mirrors. My side mirrors, they have been adjusted for me. Alright? They have been adjusted for me. Top mirrors, the flat mirrors, you're supposed to be able to see 200 feet behind the bus. These, your convex mirrors, you're supposed to be able to see 12 feet from the left and the right. Alright? And like I said, the mirrors are clean, no cracks, mounted to the brackets, brackets mounted to the body of the bus. This is my dashboard. My dashboard is free and clear of objects. Alright? There's nothing up there that's blocking my view. Alright, now over here, I'm going to check my panel. Driver's door opens and closes properly. Right? Opens and closes properly. Then at the red button, you got to explain. Inspector, this red button is for my amber warning lights. Alright? You can see. Amber warning lights. These are ones that we use 300 feet before we pick up or drop off passengers. Alright? Before you pick up or drop off passengers, 300 feet before you put on the amber lights to let people around you know that you're coming to a stop. Alright. Now the stop arm. To make the stop arm open up, you gotta have that button on, you gotta check for traffic, and you gotta open the door. Right? Now, I'm not gonna leave it open because I don't want to stop the traffic. But you would say, the stop arm is working, the red lights are flashing, and the stop sign is clear and visible. Alright? So the stop arm is working, the red lights are flashing, and the stop sign is clear and visible. You use the stop arm when you're loading and unloading children. Alright? Or passengers. Now you want to hit this button here to make sure it's off. Because if not, every time I open my door, my stop arm is going to come out. All right, over here, this is for the rear heaters. Rear heaters are working. This is for the step heater. Step heater's working. This is your noise cancellation. When you press this button, it makes everything inside the bus shut down so you can hear what's going on outside. This is what you would use at railroad crossings. Let me show you. Stair heater's on. I hit the button. Cuts it off. So you can hear what's going on outside, especially at railroad crossings. All right. Now down here, you're going to check your buttons. You're going to cut on 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're going to check. Inspector, all of my dome lights are working. All right? I would use these lights at nighttime. So when people are walking in or out, they can see where they're going. They don't trip over objects that might be on the floor. All right? Then you cut them off. This button here, you don't worry about that. This is for the filter. All right? First button for the filter. You don't worry about that. Over here, I got a button. It says fan. Back up. That's the driver's fan. All right? The driver's fan keeps the driver cool on hot days. All right. We're done with this. Now what we're going to do is check your window. Driver's window opens and closes. Student mirror or passenger mirror. Clean, no cracks, no illegal stickers. Properly mounted to the end cab of the bus. This here is a sun visor. Sun visor is clean, clear, no cracks, no damage. No missing bolts. And it's properly mounted to the end cap of the bus. All right, now I'm gonna go to my gauges. This here is my oil pressure gauge, all right? According to the book, the oil pressure should be between 5 to 20 PSI when we're not moving, all right? As you can see, this is up at 50. So it needs to be reported to the maintenance, to the mechanic, because it's not between 5 to 20. All right? So it's at 50. Oil pressure should be between 5 to 20 psi while we're idling. So we're going to report this to maintenance. This is your coolant temperature. It says water, but it's not water. It's coolant temperature. According to the book, coolant temperature should be between 185 to 210 degrees Fahrenheit. All right? Now we're lower than 185 because the bus, we just turned it on. It's not hot yet. So just remember, when the bus has been on for a while, it's supposed to be between 185 to 210 degrees Fahrenheit. We're good because we're low. Low is no concern. When we're hot, that's a problem. All right, this is your transmission temperature gauge. That should be no more than 250 degrees, okay? We're good. We're not at 250 degrees. Now this is your RPM or your tachometer. Now this really should be, you see that when I hit the brakes and slow it down? It should be between 700 and 750 RPM. All right? It's right now at about 750. So it's okay. Now remember, the letters stand for rotations per minute of the engine. All right? This gauge tells you the speed at which the engine is turning. It should be between 700 to 750 RPM while idling. All right, now this is your speedometer. This tells you the speed at which the bus is moving. This is your fuel gauge. This tells you how much diesel fuel is in the diesel fuel tank. These are your air pressure gauges, primary and secondary. All right? you normally want to see them build up between 120 to 125 psi. That's your normal operating range, and they are. Now we're going to check the battery or voltage gauge. See this button here? You got to press it till you see the word volts on the bottom. Right there. It says 14.1 volts. All right? Remember, good numbers for the battery is between 12 and 16. So 14 is good. All right. Now I'm going to continue moving. This here, this is my shifter, right? It's not broken, cracked, or damaged. I can see all the letters and numbers clearly, and there's no missing screws. All right? This is your parking brake. There should be no air leaks coming from your parking brake valve. This is for your defrosters. Put in the frost, put in heat, and get the fan. Your left and right windshield defrosters are working. Then you check your heaters. The left and right front heaters are working. Cut this off. All right. Then you tell the inspector the height of the bus is 11 feet. Your gross vehicle weight, 27,500 pounds. Your passenger capacity is 28, including the driver. Also, the bus is 30 feet. All right? Cut the heat back on. All right. Then you're going to come over here. You're going to tell the inspector, this is the instructor's mirror. Clean, no cracks. Properly mounted to the end cap of the bus. It's the instructor's mirror. All right. You're going to tell the inspector, this is the manual door override. When I press this button, I can open and close the door by hand. So you press the button. Look around, open and close the door. My manual door override is working. I've got no cracked or missing windows. Doors mounted to the hinges. Hinges are mounted to the body of the bus. And everything here is insulated, so children can't get their fingers stuck. All right? Then you got to hit the button again. And of course, your door is properly sealed. Then you got your insurance and registration card up to date. And everything is clear and visible. All right, now over here, I'm on my steps. I'm going to tell them there are no obstructions. No obstructions. My stairs are clear. And I got proper rubber. All right? My stairway light is properly mounted. No cracked or missing lens. No missing screws. Handrail. This again is properly mounted. No missing screws. Over here, this is where you're supposed to have a body fluids kit. You're supposed to have a body fluids kit. I don't have one, so I'm going to report this to maintenance. This bus should have a body fluids kit. All right, over here, you should have a 9-piece first aid kit. All right, with spare fuses and spare light bulbs. Over here, you should have 3 red triangle reflectors. Not broken, cracked, or damaged, none missing. All right? We only use those when the bus is disabled, when the bus can't move, or if you're fixing the bus. This is your fire extinguisher. Your fire extinguisher should be rated A, B, and C. All right? A, B, and C. Fully charged. Here you have a safety pin, so the fire extinguisher doesn't go off accidentally. And over here you have an inspection tag. That should be up to date. All right? Now, stand right there. Then you come over here. Check your seatbelt. Seatbelt moves freely. They latch securely. Seatbelt's not worn, torn, cut, or frayed. Seat is mounted to the frame. Frame is bolted to the floor. No missing bolts. Then you walk down the aisle. Check your seats. right, Inspector. All of my seats are securely mounted to the floor. No missing bolts. My aisle is clear. I got proper rubber. All right, now I'm gonna check the emergency exit. Look here, open the door a little. All right? Okay, the rear emergency exit door. The buzzer works, right? No cracked or missing windows. The door is mounted to the hinges. Hinges are mounted to the body of the bus. Inspector, all of my emergency exits are clearly marked. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right?
Okay.
All 5 emergency exits are clearly marked. That way, if there's an emergency, we know where to go. There's no confusion. All right, Inspector. There are no sleeping children. All right? No sleeping or hiding children. There's no graffiti or vandalism. Also, there are no personal items left on the bus. Coats, books, book bags, whatever. The inspector might ask me, are you done with the in-cab inspection? What would I say? Yes or no? If the inspector says, hey, are you done with the in-cab? Do I say yes or do I say
Yes.
no? No, not done. Because I still got 2 more brake tests.
Okay.
Remember, you got to test your parking brake and your service brake. You are not finished until you check your parking brake and your service brake.
Okay.
So what you're going to do is you're going to put your seatbelt back on. All right, parking brake. You hold the brake, you put your foot on the brake, you put the bus in drive, and you hit the gas. My parking brake is working. The bus did not move, right? Then you do your service brake. You do your service brake, you take off your parking brake. I'm gonna do it this way because they're right in front of me. Your service brake, you're supposed to go about 5 miles per hour, between 15 to 50 feet. 5 miles per hour, then you hit your brakes. Let me pull it out. Then you hit your brakes. Inspector, my service brake is working. And when I hit my service brake, my bus didn't pull left and it didn't pull right. Then you put your brakes back on, you put the bus in neutral. And then you tell the inspector, I'm ready for my road test. You make sure you build that air pressure back up to about 120. All right?
Okay.
All right. Check your phone. Make sure you got it. Make sure you got the whole thing I just did.
Okay.
Check. Make sure you got it.